Yes, people. Welcome to Saeed TV and welcome to the debate show. But listen, we have to talk about a crazy afternoon of 3 p.m. kickoffs. Top four is going mad. Matisse is crying right now. Tottenham get away with it, but fair play. They got the job done in the end. Massive 3 points. Newcastle, have to give them credit. They're not going anywhere. They are not going anywhere. Been a crazy afternoon. But listen, let's bring on the guests we have on today. We got Neeks, first time, I think, on the channel. I don't know if he was on the channel before, but big up to you, Neeks, for coming on, bro.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's first time on the channel. Obviously, I've been on different streams with you on other channels, but
Yeah.
It's first time on the channel. Obviously, first time with Statman. So yeah, happy to be here, and happy to be here in the moment where as Man United fans, we got something to smile about at least.
Yeah, definitely, man. Definitely. Statman Bays is in a building, all smiling. He was talking a bit of madness before the stream. I'm saying we won't talk about that, but let's just Statman. What are you saying? What's your heart telling you right now? What's it telling you?
Family's sensational right now. I think if we win tomorrow, we're 6 points away from City. If you told me that at the start of the season we're going to be 6 points away from City after 12 games, I would say you're lying to me. Yeah, we're in dream mode right now, kind of thing. In terms of we're in a very good position.
We've just got to do our job, man. This is the problem where United have done for so many years, is that we've not been able to do our job, and that's been our Achilles heel. United have got to go do their job tomorrow, man. I'm gonna bring up the Premier League table right now, and it's crazy. Like, honestly, man, like Newcastle are in the top four, and they're not looking back; they're looking forward. They are 3 points away. Sorry, in front of what do you call it, Chelsea. Obviously, they've got a game in hand, Chelsea, but again, that's against Liverpool, so it's not as if it's a 3 points that's guaranteed, but.
And that
big pot there for Tottenham, though.
Newcastle's goal difference is plus 40 compared to Chelsea's anyway. So even if they win,
bro, that's a big one. That's 14.
And Newcastle was sitting third for a lot of today. So obviously Spurs got the late winner, which they needed, I think, because the performances for Spurs ain't been great. If there's one team of that, the top four, you're saying who could drop out, who could make another space? Obviously, Liverpool's looking like they're making one space. It's probably Spurs, because in that top four, they're probably playing the worst. But they got another 3 points, 3 goals, 26 goals scored, as bad as they play generally. If they start playing well, then they might actually be dangerous. But they're still rocky at the moment, Spurs.
No Isaac, people. The guy that I rate as well. No Isaac. Big up to Danny the Devil Details in the
Maxim was on the bench today, wasn't it?
St. Maxim, bro. These guys, if they can add in January, listen. I'm not saying they're gonna make top four, yeah, but if they add in January and be more consistent, listen, you never know, man. You never know, Danny.
Saeed.
Oh, is that Neeks?
Yeah, me.
What's good?
Come on, man.
You know one of the things with Newcastle right now. Sometimes you get a team who breaks into the top four a bit random at the start of the season. It might be Brighton or West Ham. But the difference in Newcastle, they can strengthen in January because they've got the money. The other teams like just waiting for them to fall off. Newcastle, there's no reason for them to fall off generally if they actually want to push to get top four. So because the money's there. So it's dangerous times, man. It's dangerous times.
Yeah.
And I think even last year, from like February onwards, they were like second or third in terms of most points from that point onwards.
Correct.
You never know them.
Yeah. Big up to Toke says, hate it or love it. The Red Devils is back on top. Listen, we have to wait until our job. But I'm just saying, Danny, look at the table there. What have you made of today and the carnage today? Obviously, Tottenham, when you look at that, that's a massive 3 points when you're not playing at your best and you still win that game. Chelsea, like I said, I think we look at that result last week and I feel like I'm a bit aggrieved now we didn't get all the 3 points. You know what I mean, bro? I know hindsight's a wonderful thing, but we should have got that 3 points there. Chelsea,
I felt that way at the time, I felt that's 2 points dropped.
Yeah.
Even though we got the last minute draw, I felt like it was 2 points dropped. I think people are worried about Newcastle because of the money behind them. Like, I'm looking at their squad. It's 1 game a week, though. Eddie Howe's doing a good job.
Yeah.
Are they going to be another Leicester? Are they going to be in there till towards the end of the season, then A Chelsea come through, we come through. A Tottenham. I'll be honest, yeah. I'm not even concerned about the table side. I'll be honest with you. Like, I'm so comfortable and so confident about how we're developing as a team. I'm like, why aren't you 10 points clear of us? That's what I'm looking at. All the hype everybody else gets, all the love Tottenham get for their summer window and the coach that they've got, Arsenal, the way they started this season. I'm looking at the table, like, the way the fan base reacted initially and the way the media talk, you think we were in 8th place. You think we're behind these guys. I think we're ticking along nicely. So I'm looking at that table and I'm like, yeah, we've got some good fixtures coming up, man. We can make ground on those teams above us.
That's the thing, because the start of the season, we all looked at October as the month where things could go bad. And obviously it started bad losing to Man City in the way we did. But the fact that we are more than in touching distance of the rest of the league coming to the end of October, and the next 5-6 fixtures obviously split with the World Cup, they're very, very winnable games. We're in a good position. Even if we're sitting in 5th, 6th, we're in a very good position to pounce. The clubs.
One last point. Did you see the City game earlier?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. They were poor. They were poor. They were poor. They were very poor.
What you kind of say though? I think you need to say something after that though. Like, you can't just say that and then not say
him and Statman said it backstage. He's saying it front stage. You put 2 and 2 together. They're saying something.
Nah, listen. I think for us,
we move in silence, isn't it?
You know what it is? And this is again the key word of a coach. Yeah, like, we've got Ten Hag as a coach who a lot of people. Yes, Graham Potter is a very good coach, but can he manage egos? Ten Hag can do that. Ronaldo, listen, he said, "Yo, listen, you're holding bench." Potter will have them challenges. Conte, you know what I mean, with the style of football, people don't like it. He's very, very stubborn in his ways. He will get it sometimes wrong. He will get it sometimes right. And today they've got away with it. Today you've got to give it them. Bournemouth, probably they found the quality. They've bring people off the bench. They've got that added quality. Arsenal, Arteta, like I said, right now the test is now. Can they manage that test? So with Statman, with Ten Hag, we've got Ten Hag, man, and a lot of people will say, oh well, this and that, but we've got a manager now who's got this squad playing the way he wants them to play. He's managed to sort out egos in the dressing room. He's managed to drop people. Listen, we should be confident within ourselves, innit, about this top 4.
Especially after the teams that we faced so far, because I'm pretty sure from the top 10 before this week, we played, like, what was it, 8 of them, I think?
Yeah.
Now is where you're looking at United. Can you, like, get a streak in 3-4 consecutive wins in the Premier League? Can we do that? I'll be honest, I'm low-key confident. Like, I don't want to say, like, yeah, we're going to do it kind of thing, but we're playing well. We are playing well. Like, sometimes you just have to give United credit, other than maybe, like, as I think in the title, I'm still not happy with Sancho at times, but we saw Garnacho the other day. He came on, or he started, performed extremely well. I thought even Anthony Elanga, when he came on in the 10-minute cameo against Chelsea, done extremely well. He was the one that carried us up the pitch. Most of our players are playing well. We're getting players back from injury now at Donny van der Beek, Wan-Bissaka, even Harry Maguire. They're going to help in the Europa League, for example. Life's good right now, isn't it?
My only concern when it comes to Man United right now is the goals. And yes, it's early in the season, and it's not the stat that I'm going to say is not really a stat, but it's a stat. We haven't scored more than 3 goals in a game this season. Now, what does that mean? If you win every game 3-0, you don't need to score more than 3 goals in a game this season. But some of the quality of the opposition we played, especially like in the Europa League, those are the games you're thinking you can really rack up some numbers and confidence. And where I won't say just getting over the line, but it's not flowing in attack as it should. So when
why I'm relaxed with that?
Go on.
I'm relaxed with that because we're creating chances. That surely eventually it will just click. Surely eventually Ronaldo will bang, Rashford will bang. Even, let's be honest, Anthony Elanga, Sancho, surely they'll just chip in with a couple more goals. Even Bruno. That's what I'm like. As long as we're creating the chances, I don't really have a worry in that.
But also think about who we've played against.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? We are missing chances and chance creation, big chance creation. We're not great. We're like 9th in the league. But that's with us being a work in progress and playing the top 10 teams in the league. And for me, though, I think Neek's hit the point on the head where I think the defense and the build-up play is pretty good. It's the front line where we need to actually go up a level. And I'll be honest, I think there's way more to come from this team side. Honestly, other than say Martinez and now Casemiro because of a few big performances he's had, I wouldn't give anybody more than a 7 out of 10 for the season on the individual level. I think there's best 6.5s, which I like.
That's fair.
Bare players, understanding what the coach wants, just everybody working hard. Yeah. Lots of 6.5s so other people can stand out, say on a different match day. I like that. But it's just if we can go up a level now, like those two were saying, 3-4 games in a row, can we improve our goal difference? Because I think we're about neutral, +2 or 0, whatever it is.
0 in it.
Something like that.
Yeah.
We can go on a run now. Now's the time.
You know where Nicks is United's biggest competition themselves, and I know this. I'm not trying to disrespect Chelsea and Tottenham or whatnot, but we've been able to kind of combat them and give them a game and obviously dominate Spurs and whatnot. But in terms of United, like I said, missing chances, Newcastle game, you know, what I mean, maybe strengthening in January. Will we be our own kind of worst enemy in a sense?
I think based on obviously we spoke about potentially Newcastle strengthening in January. I'm sure Chelsea are going to go strengthen. Potter hasn't had a window, for example. We don't know. Man City probably don't need to strengthen. We don't know what they're going to do. But I think in that aspect we might be our worst enemy because I think it's clear there was a comment that came up earlier. We need a striker. I think Ronaldo's going to go in January. Martial can't be trusted in terms of his fitness, and even if he could. If Ronaldo goes, that's only one striker we've got. So whatever happens, really and truly, we need a striker in January. I'm not 100% confident of us getting that striker. So that is where I think we might buy ourselves or shoot ourselves in the foot, should I say? If we go out and get the striker, and it's not my decision, not really much. I want us to get the striker that Ten Hag wants. I trust his decision making on that, and if we get that striker that he wants, I believe we can continue the progression. If we don't, I think the second half of the season, that a gap may develop between us and the teams that decide to strengthen. So in that reality, I think we could shoot ourselves in the foot, but we just hope that the Glazers put their finger out there.
You got Liverpool as well in the mix there. It's crazy, You got Liverpool, Man, obviously Arsenal are in there. I think for me it'll be first and then kind of best of the rest, Danny. I think it will be that kind of situation where City will end up tailing off. They're not going to be convincing, I don't think, this season. I don't think they're going to get 90+ points that everyone thinks they're going to get. I reckon it'll be probably one of the lowest points that maybe might win a title. But for now, you know what I mean? The rest of them, Newcastle, you've got Liverpool, Arsenal, Tottenham, Chelsea. What do you believe in what we can do in terms of what Ten Hag's doing right now? Do you think there's enough for us to build momentum now? Next 3 games are winnable, but there are also games where Villarreal, Unai Emery's coming now. Can he get a big performance out of Fulham? They're flying at a little bit in a minute. If they can win today,
West Ham are back in form. Well, we're playing West Ham at the wrong time as well, technically.
I know.
I'll be honest though, like I think that City game came at the wrong time.
I've said it, yeah.
This team, they need rhythm. These players, they need rhythm. But since that City game by game, step by step, I just see improvements. Like, I remember you put that tweet out, a few weeks ago before the Tottenham and Chelsea game, right? How many points are we going to get? And people were being negative.
Yeah.
I can't disrespect a couple man in your thread. I'm not going to lie. Like, because I was getting onto man, like, no, I think we're going to get 6 points. I'm just confident at the moment. What reason do I have not to be confident other than the fact in the final third, we need to take our chances? That's all I'm worried about. And when you think about it, it's really 2 different seasons. That World Cup messes everything up. That's why this run that we have now against favourable, I'm not going to say easy teams, let's say favourable teams, is why we need to go on a run. Because I was annoyed actually that we drew against, who was it, Newcastle?
Massive.
Because I'm looking at Liverpool, I'm like, we can create a gap between us and them that they have to make up.
Yeah.
So when we have a dip in form, maybe it evens out, and by the World Cup comes, we're sort of maybe third, fourth. You get what I'm saying? Like, but no, I'm confident. I think we're gonna go on a run, to be honest with you. And say by the time the World Cup hits, I expect us. I don't know what the position will be, but in terms of second, like you said, second to 5th, I reckon by the time this season has that hope for the World Cup, I reckon the gap's going to be 5 points between 4 or 5 teams. I don't think it's going to be big. I think it's going to be something like that.
Do you remember the Van Gaal season where we were beating the teams in a top 4, top 6, and then we kind of struggled and got draws? Do you reckon it's that kind of feeling in a sense for you? Obviously, Brighton, Brentford, we've not got results. Newcastle, is anyone else? No, but the rest of them we've actually got results in. What do you reckon in terms of them teams that we should be beating? Are they the ones, especially West Ham's a club where I think it's one of them teams where they're a top 8 club, top 9 club, but then also they've got qualities on that day to kind of hurt us. So what are you kind of like judging United in them kind of games?
I think it's tough, isn't it? Because I wouldn't necessarily say we play teams that we should be battering so far. Like we played Southampton early on, we played Leicester early on, but now we're really playing those teams. So I think it's too early to say that we're going to struggle, but if we're looking at Europa League, I know we've rested a couple of players in Europa League. We have struggled putting the ball in the back of the net. But as I said before, like we are creating enough chances, especially in the Europa League. Surely, eventually, it just clicks. And even if it doesn't, like we might not be battering teams, but we still get wins because our defensive record right now is phenomenal. I think a lot of people need to put start player in respect of Victor Lindelof's name as well. Backup centre back coming in, he hasn't looked out of place. And I'll be honest, I said it before. I don't think we're going to miss Varane for the next couple or before the World Cup, looking at our fixtures.
But that's the thing. I think the fixtures helps for the fact that we might not miss Varane. Not the gap between Varane and our replacement, because the gap between Varane and our replacements is big in terms of quality.
You say that, but if Lindelof, who to be fair, I'm not his biggest fan, but he's been in good form. Like the first time Varane got injured recently, he played well. Varane gets injured again, he's back in and played well. I'm not going to lie, I'm not 100% confident with Schumacher and if he went 4-4-2 tomorrow, David Moyes, we know Lindelof doesn't like physical battles with those types of centre.
But I think Maguire might play tomorrow because of.
But if he doesn't, and it's Lindelof, that's why I can't agree with the. We don't have to worry if because when we have Varane and Martinez, it's like taking candy from children. Yeah. There's no worries at all. Once you put a Maguire or Lindelof in there, I get it. You look at it on paper, say we shouldn't be troubled by those teams. And I can see that point of view from a tactical point of view as well. If you notice with our rest defense, by the way, the midfielders recovering, the centre backs aren't even doing no work because actually the team's actually like recovering really, really well when we use the football.
Do you not think, Danny? Though
I could make that argument as well. I'm just saying though, like Lindelof and Maguire can let you down at any moment. That's what I would say.
I think with Martinez, it just gives you that feeling that you're not going to be not so confident about Lindelof. It gives you that kind of comfort, like Martinez is next to him. You know what I mean? And I think like last season, Varane didn't have that impact with Maguire there because Varane wasn't that sort of defender. Now we've got Martinez. He gives us that feeling of, you know what? We've got Martinez there, the one. Don't get me wrong.
I don't know, Saeed. I think Danny's probably right. That those two are at times a lure onto themselves. And I don't think the person next to them can always hold their hand. Yes, it was the start of the season. Things were bad. But Martinez started both those games against Brighton and Brentford with Maguire, and it was real bad. I think Lindelof, I don't think Lindelof plays at either of those games. He came on at halftime against Brentford because Martinez came off. So even with Martinez there, I think if you isolate Lindelof, maybe in the air, or isolate Maguire one-on-one on the ground, you can still get at them. And Martinez is not a cover type defender, so I think you do have that risk. But what I agree with the fact that if we're going to lose Varane, I'd rather lose them for West Ham, Fulham, Aston Villa than Chelsea, Spurs, Man City, so to speak. Obviously, we lost that Man City game anyway. So it is the best time, if there is a best time so far this season, to play the second and third and fourth choice centre backs, if we have to in this case.
And I still think Lindelof provides more than Rafa Varane on the ball, and I feel like we're going to dominate possession over the next couple of games.
Yeah, 100%. Big up to everybody who's watching. Over 400 people in the building. Make sure we're getting them likes up, people. Big up to everybody who's locked in right now. But let's talk about Sancho and Garnacho. There's a bit of debate going on around social media in terms of Garnacho showing up Sancho. Let's start off with you, Statman, because you've always wanted more from Sancho. Is this place now? I'm not saying under threat, but is he kind of like should be looking over the shoulders now, thinking these kids are showing me up now? Ilanga's showing him up a few times now in terms of Garnacho the other day had a very, very promising performance. What does Sancho need to do? Is it a case of matching them what they're doing in terms of work rate? What is it that Garnacho's doing right and Sancho isn't?
I think Garnacho, he just looked direct. Like every single time he got the ball, you felt like something was going to happen. And let's be honest, over the last couple of weeks, we haven't felt that with Sancho. Actually, let's be honest, throughout most of his time at United, we haven't felt that. I think, but listen, you saw it when Sancho came on against Nomi or whatever they were called, when McTominay scored. Sancho, that game was a lot better. All he was a bit more aggressive with the ball. That's all he has to be. If you're a bit more aggressive on the ball, you're going to look better. But he's an interesting one with Sancho right now. I think, listen, he should be looking over his shoulder. I've been saying that for the last couple of weeks. I think once everyone is fit, I would start Rashford on the left, for example. If Rashford's starting up top tomorrow, which he could be, then he's a difficult one. Because I'll be honest, I thought Elanga would have played the other day in it. And then maybe again on the week against West Ham. But
he did say that though, but he said Garnacho in tighter spaces is better. That's what he said.
So I don't know, like tomorrow could be interesting if he does give Garnacho a number start. I'll doubt it. I still think he's going to stick with Sancho. But I think Sancho should be worried.
What you, man? Let's go with you, League. Sancho and the Garnacho. Is it one of them kind of, comparisons where, what I mean, people want more from Sancho, and as soon as they see a little bit from Garnacho, everyone's getting a bit excited. Is it that, or is it actually like, Garnacho gives more in terms of directness, pace, runs in behind? Is it more than just that, or is it Sancho?
This is it. Because for me, it's like, obviously, I looked at that game that Garnacho played, and I wasn't thinking, we got our next left winger for the next 10 years. He was good, but I wasn't getting overly excited about Garnacho in and of himself. But I was looking at that game, and I was just thinking about Sancho. Like every time he did something good, Sancho, why are you not doing that? Why don't you do this? I hope you're watching. That's what I was looking at, because the reality is Sancho right now is still the better player. He's proved it over the last few years over in Germany. But he hasn't shown that form and that output and that consistency that he did in the Bundesliga, in the Premier League, and we're waiting for that to happen. And I think it's like what Garnacho showed, he was playing without fear. He's like he was told, and he took it on board to go out there and just be himself. And at times even he was playing a bit too safe, came inside when he probably should have kept trying to beat the man down the outside. But Sancho never does it. Sancho never tries to beat the man down the outside. He's always coming inside. It's like he's playing with a weight on his shoulders, the price tag, the expectation, the fact that we were chasing him for over a year before we actually got him. He came in, the season was bad, and now it's like he was supposed to come in and solve our wing problems, and we've got new problems. And Anthony comes in, and now his position's in doubt. He's playing with such a weight on his shoulders that I think to express himself. And if he's struggling to express himself, I think if any wide player, especially at Man United, can't express himself, there will always be a shell. And he just seems like a shell right now who's scared to make a mistake, so he doesn't try anything. But for me, I want my forwards to make mistakes because I want you to try something. It's the defenders and the midfielders who you probably want to be a bit more safe, because a mistake from you can cost a goal. But the forwards, I want you to be expressive. And I think Sancho needs to let go of any expectation, any weight that he's feeling, any fear that's holding him back, and just go out and express himself. And I think we see the best. But the longer it goes on that he's playing within himself, and if Garnacho or Elanga, or if Ronaldo finds some form, or we get a striker and Rashford's on the left and Sancho's not performing, he's going to remain on the bench. And as far as the weekend goes, Sunday, I mean, it's such a tough one, because do you start Ronaldo and put Rashford on the left? Sancho doesn't deserve to start, but we're so limited in the forward options, really, that inadvertently you bring him back in just because of the lack of options, but he doesn't really deserve to start. So it's a tough one for Ten Hag. But I think you could easily see Ronaldo start with Rashford on the left tomorrow.
Eliteno says Garnacho 18 played with Messi and CR7 class. Danny, what can you pinpoint the kind of problem that Ten Hag's got a little bit? But the thing is, the way I look at it now, Ten Hag is not a manager who just alienates you out of the team. Okay, Maguire's a different situation, but Sancho, even if he's been off form, he's still played him in big games. Chelsea, I mean, the big games we played this season, he still played him. So he still has faith in him. But will that faith kind of dry out a little bit? Do you feel like Ten Hag might be losing a bit of faith Because as soon as that pass went out for the goal kick, he took him off against Chelsea.
Yeah, there was a moment in that Chelsea game, I think in the first 10 minutes, Sancho gets it on the left. Bruno's on the edge of the box. It's like a good 5-second window to pass it. He drives, dilly-dallies, doesn't look, tries to pass it to Bruno, and midfielders recovered. Chelsea get the ball back. And when I saw that, I was like, he's going to have a bad game. Because that's like an amateur mistake. Like, to not even look where you're passing, and you delayed the pass for 5 seconds. I don't associate bad decision-making and not doing the basics with Jadon Sancho. But I'm seeing him display bad decision-making, and he's not doing the basics well. And Ten Hag's already tried bringing him in and out of the team. It doesn't really seem to be working. I think Sancho's struggling with, and I said this in the summer, if he treats Sancho the way he treats Anthony, which is you be disciplined and you follow my instructions and you follow the overloads that I want, etc., etc., I wonder how he's going to react to that. Are we seeing, excuse me, I might sneeze here. Okay, full stop, my bad. Is this a Grealish City situation with Sancho? Right, having this conversation, shout out to Mr. T. Has he got the manager's voice in his head when he's playing? Because I think back to 2 games. Is it the Nicosia game?
Yeah.
Was it Nicosia where he scored that goal? Was it Nicosia in the Europa League? Or was that Sheriff?
No, I think
Sheriff away. Sheriff away.
Sheriff away. So Sheriff away, and I think about the Southampton game. And these are 2 games where he had the freedom to overload and come inside and play. Right? Now, this is not me making a Jadon Sancho should start as a 10, because there's a difference for me between starting out wide and coming inside and just actually starting Sancho. It's 2 different things for me. So for me, that's what I think the issue is. He's got the manager's voice in his head, and he's struggling to find that balance tactically, use the overloads, off the ball, what's required. Because I'm seeing him, it's not just the fact that he's not direct, it's just the basics, and his decision making is just not at the standard side, and that surprises me. On Garnacho though, listen, I'd start him against West Ham. It's a free hit. It's just a moment. You can bring him off after 45.
Sorry, free hit for who?
For Garnacho.
Oh, I thought you meant for Man United.
But then that means the free hit for United, though. Because then...
Sir Alex Ferguson, I don't care what no one tells me, he would play Garnacho against West Ham. He would say, the biggest problem with this Man United team right now is the front line. Yeah. Lacking ideas, lacking fluidity, not being clinical, guys just making mistakes on the ball. You get this injection of enthusiasm from this young player. And people miss this, yeah? In that second half, he was the one that built the momentum for us.
Yep.
He didn't get the assist. He didn't create a big chance, but he kept the tempo up and he stretched the pitch. And on the back end of that, we benefited as a team. So I would have no problem seeing Garnacho start against West Ham, just so we get that. Listen, it's a free hit. If he doesn't perform well, you take him off, it's fine. I don't think it's a big deal. I'm not saying he should start 3, 4, 5 games in a row. It's just right now, I just don't trust Jadon Sancho on the team. I have to be honest.
That's crazy, you know. That's crazy because it's like we're chasing this guy for 2 years. There was a big profile in this and in this sort of player, and I just find it's one of them for me. I still believe he needs a striker. I'm probably gonna die on this hill. Honestly, like he needs a striker to link up with, and this is part of his game. I don't think he goes and takes 3-4 man on like Rashford does. He doesn't do that. He relies on a link up man, and then he starts to
no. But Saeed, people let him get away with. I'll give you an example. People do the same thing for Anthony. He's being outnumbered by 3 people. Do you know what an elite winger does when they're outnumbered by 3 people?
But is he an elite winger though?
No, they just find the space between 2 players and find the pass. You don't have to beat 3 man. You don't have to beat 3 people. But when I see man dribbling into 3 man and just losing the football, Jadon Sancho, I watched him in the Bundesliga. He can be outnumbered by 4 people. He will just focus, find a path to pass. Like he'll lower a player in, he'll cross with his left foot, he'll find the 1 man in the box. I saw him displaying this elite level vision and composure when surrounded by bodies. And I see him in the Chelsea game, he's stuttering on the football. I'm like, I don't know this player. That's not Jadon Sancho. There's a ghost in his body. He's been possessed. I don't know who that is. Because I believe in the player. I believe in his talent. It's just, like I said, I'm going to repeat myself. I don't associate bad decision-making and not doing the basics with Jadon Sancho. So when I see those 2 things, Saeed, his confidence is low and he's just not in form, which is fine. Maybe he'll get back in form. But right now, it's just, I don't know, man. I'll go with Garnacho. I'll go with Elanga. It wouldn't surprise me if maybe saw Bruno there. That's a bit of a wild one. We can get into that later. It wouldn't surprise me if Sancho don't come back into the team. I have to be honest with you.
Awinski, big up to you, bro. He goes, Danny's right. I see Sancho misplaced that pass or that type of pass time and time again. He's just not mentally present at times. You know what it is, though? With Statman, do you reckon we can see that Dortmund style at United? Or we kind of like, I don't know, wishing for too much? I don't know. Like, I've actually accepted that we're not going to get that Dortmund player at United, but he has to evolve, though. He has to evolve into a new player. You know, can he do that? Can he adapt his style? See, I don't know. What do you think, Statman?
Oh, it's a tough one, isn't it? Because I actually really like Sancho, but I don't know how the changes kind of thing. But the reason I've always got hope in Sancho, remember in preseason, I still think in preseason when he was on the right hand side, I don't think that's his best position, by the way, but he was combining well. He had a little combination, especially the first couple preseason games. And let's be honest, everyone was loving Sancho. That's what I'm like. As Ten Hag evolves, maybe we become more of a possession-based side. He has better combinations. Surely you see naturally a better Sancho.
Yeah.
But in terms of him continuously taking his man on, maybe like someone said Martinelli in the chat, that's never going to happen for me. That's just not the type of player he is, kind of thing, isn't it? Yeah. But you're just relying on him getting more combinations, and hopefully that happens. But for now, yeah, you lot said it. Bench player.
Someone saying Ten Hag style is different. You need fast, direct wingers. Neeks, I mean, in terms of the style that we see from Ten Hag, you know, Anthony, for me, he's got pace, his aggression, you know, things that, again, Sancho doesn't have.
I'm not happy with Anthony either, by the way. Go to Neeks, but I'm not happy with him either.
You know why I'm happy with Anthony? Because I feel like, for me, there's always that feeling that he wants to do it again. With Sancho, he'll just kind of maybe make that safe pass.
Saeed, you're letting Anthony off because he's new and he's not annoyed you as much. You ain't been watching him as long. So I know you're going to.
He has annoyed me a little bit, but the thing is, I like a player who then wants to try and do it again, but in the right way. And also, let's not get it wrong though. Anthony does keep the ball well though. Sometimes he's intelligent enough to recycle the ball and keep the ball well. He doesn't like. I think for me, I've seen intelligent parts of Anthony's game that we've probably not talked about enough. I genuinely do. He doesn't always take a man on.
I just think he's getting a pass. That's all I'm going to say.
No, okay, fine. But I think when you consider, and especially if we're doing a Sancho comparison, last season, and it was a bad season, don't get it twisted. So I'm not putting that on Sancho, but Sancho got a pass for the whole season because it was his first season.
Yeah,
and he is young. It's his first back in the country, not his first time in the country, by the way. Anthony, all of that is relevant to Anthony, other than the fact that we started the season better this year than we did last year. Big price tag, bigger club, new country, new league, all that kind of stuff. But I think the fact that he scored 3 in his first 3, and we're playing well as a team, he gets a pass. A lot, as you said, there's only a few players who have been playing, you know, exceptionally well, and everyone's just been around a 7, might have Ericsson at maybe a 7.5 or whatever. But because we're winning, there's not too much to focus on elsewhere. You just say, all right, we hope it improves. Whereas look at last season, it was very bad for everyone. So you can pinpoint and focus on individuals where it's even worse than you expected. So I think he's allowed to get a pass. It's his first season. If Anthony hadn't scored so far this year, we'll still be saying, well, it's his first year, we'll judge him next year. I don't think that's an issue. But what I do like about Anthony, that Saeed says, is that he does have intent. He wants to affect the game positively. Whether he does it successfully each and every time he gets the ball is, for me, is neither here nor there. Not even here nor there, but it's the byproduct of it. The intent is the first thing. You can never affect the game positive if your intent is not to affect the game positive. That's the first thing. So he has the right mindset of what I want to see in a winger at Man United. Sancho is not even getting the first part right. His intent is not to affect the game positively. His intent is not to make a bad mistake, not to be made to look like a fool, not to stand out. I just want to kind of be involved, passive. But no one's really going to focus on me because if I do it wrong, that kind of thing. So that's what I like about Anthony, and I think Anthony's just going to develop, and we're going to get better from him if that intent remains. I want to see the intent from Sancho. I'm not even focused on the end product right now. When Rashford, I don't know if the the point you're talking about with Bruno earlier, like chance against Chelsea, because Rashford's in the center of the box and the ball comes over and he should just do a left foot cross immediately across the box. If it's a cross or the defender blocks it out or Rashford misses a chance, that's not on Sancho. I need the intent. Your intent is to supply your striker. No, he gets the ball, he turns back, he passes it. That for me is already wrong. If Anthony does try something and it goes bad, you say, all right, next time better. Execution. But yeah, so I like Anthony. And I think Sancho needs to be looking at him and Garnacho and even Elanga. When they get on those wing and they're running at, and they're looking at the defenders, they are trying to affect the game. And I don't think Sancho's trying to do that.
Big up to Smokey Settings says, I won't lie, I watched PSV versus Arsenal and Gakpo is rashy. Anyone a fan of Gakpo, by the way, here? Because I feel like for me, the stocks have gone a bit down for me. I'm not really feeling him as much.
I've said this, when I see those comments, I've only seen comps in it, I'm not going to lie. And when I look in the comps, I'm like, if Depay and Rashford had a baby, it's Gakpo. So when I see comments like that, I just watch the PSG and he look like Rashi. We don't need another Rashford. In Ten Hag, I trust though, innit?
Cool.
If Ten Hag wants him, I must be wrong, innit?
If we got Gakpo, where do you think Ten Hag's playing him? Through the middle?
Yeah.
Because
he could do that.
But this is the thing, I agree, because like we all say Rashford's not a striker, especially like in the Premier League. You know, when you're not playing on the counter attack. So what do we expect from Gakpo through the middle as a striker if he's that similar to Rashford? Which again, as I've seen, he looks like he's better off the left.
Yeah. And you know what's funny? Saeed, remember 2 months ago when I showed you that tactics board that I did?
Yeah,
I started pointing out. There's a
I
reason
know.
I know.
Now I see it.
You see why I did that now? Ten Hag don't care. He don't care.
He don't care.
He's going to do things like, it wouldn't surprise me tomorrow if we saw Bruno left wing starting. It wouldn't surprise me. Ten Hag don't care. He don't care. He'll do things like this.
But I like that though.
Only today, by the way, that post available for 25 million now. So
yeah,
it could happen. It could happen.
Big up to Zayn Miasi's in the building. Said, Saeed, did you see Newcastle's goals? Never mind Rashford, Sancho, Callum Wilson, and Almiron on fire. Listen, there are on fire, Zayn. You might want to go and dip in that market, man. Next season, Callum Wilson, Almiron, that could be your sort of players at Arsenal, man. You know what I mean? But, you know what, though? Fair play to Callum Wilson. I think he should get an English squad, by the way. He deserves it. But it's a tough choice, him and Ivan Toney. Who'd you take? I'd personally go for Callum Wilson for me. But in terms of Gakpo, Statman, you know, a lot of people say he's average. Is Rashford but got better IQ? Gakpo, what are you thinking, bro? In terms of him, obviously Sancho now position as well under threat from Garnacho, but Gakpo's the one that we're linked with as well.
Realistically, with the Gakpo thing, that's the sort of player that you're probably going to get in January. Like, you're not really going to get a world beat in January. Like you said, the price is what, 25, 30 mil. Yeah. If Ronaldo does leave, that's the best we're going to be doing. That's why I think people need to kind of like contextualize the Gakpo signing, because I don't know, man. Like, he don't move me kind of thing, but I still think he does improve our team. Like, I still think, for example, like, he's a bit like upper body strength, for example, is a bit better than Rashford, for example, in the number 9 role, if he eventually moved there. So I still do think there's positives with that signing. And I said it before, we need more players that can run in behind.
That's the final form, Rashford.
Yeah.
We need more players that can run in behind if we keep Martial up top and Anthony on the right. And I think Gakpo does improve that to an extent. So I'm fine with it kind of thing.
Yeah, it's one of them, man. But I'm looking at Sancho now. It's not that new toy anymore, man. And this is the thing, man. And you know, when the fan base don't, you know, if they want to get rid of a toy, it's easy. You know what I mean? Transfers come in, leaks. You know what I mean? People get linked with this one, that one. Has Sancho got the mentality to bring this back in? Do you think he's like, you know what? Don't worry, I've got this. Like, you know, when someone says like, I've got this, you haven't really got this. Like, I want him to work so badly, but for me right now, it's a case of he has to prove to us right now. Like, has he got that in him to prove to the fans why he's still got, you know, he's still a Man United player and he still can do it?
I don't want to write him off because he's a young player. There's a lot to go with him, but I don't. From just his demeanor and maybe the way he plays, I can't pinpoint the character trait that says, yeah, he's not going to give up. He's going to fight to the death to make sure, you know, he remains at Man United. Yeah. He remains relevant at Man United. There's worse players in terms of ability who I see that at Man United, who I'm like, If they're gonna get sold or leave Man United, they're not going down without a fight because maybe they feel privileged to be here. They're in and whatever it might be. I see that fighting spirit within them. I don't see that from Sancho. Not to say he can't, but I can't categorically say, yeah, this man's gonna have the character to do it. And I think if you do go and get someone like a Gakpo, and you've already spent 80 million on Anthony, and we know how much he already likes Rashford, you're looking at it like Sancho's days might be numbered. He might be numbered, and that would be a big shame because I think he's such a good player. So what he has to do really, got enough games now and before the January starts to say to Ten Hag, and it may not affect the decision, but you don't need to go out and get someone to fit in the position that I'm in because I'm here, I can do it. That's on him, and no one else can really have that effect. It's on him really. I maybe because obviously Anthony's playing all the games from the right. Anytime Sancho plays, it's really from the left. But I still think he's effective on the right hand side. But we're not seeing it anymore because Anthony's there. Anthony can't play every game in every competition, surely not. So Sancho needs to make himself available to just be able to do whatever the manager wants in whatever position. But yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know.
Again, like I said, you know what I mean. We're gonna see if he can rise to the occasion. But just believe that, you know what I mean. There's competition there. There's other players that are proving it. Rashford, I think for me, you know what I mean. Danny is doing his thing this season. You've got to give him credit. You know, Rashford's doing his thing. He's contributing. He's scoring headers. I mean, who would have thought of that? Eh? Scoring headers. You know what I mean. So Rashford has been a key component. Yes, he'll frustrate you with what he does, and is he a clinical finisher, natural goal scorer? No, but in terms of what he's doing, you know what I mean, he's having a massive impact on United, and for Ten Hag, it's proven to be an important player.
I'm going to keep it so real, man. You can go on Google, type in Premier League, big chances missed. And when you look at that list, you'll see all the best finishers in this league. They've missed more big chances than Marcus Rashford. Then you can go, after that, Google Premier League, big chances created. And you'll see Man United are 9th in the league. He's getting 1 or 2 chances a game. He was taking them early in the season. He's had a little period where he's missing them. I think people are exaggerating the finishing thing. Like 2 years ago, he's taking most of these chances. I just think that on the ball, I see him in situations, Saeed, and I'm like, he'd be losing this. He'll be losing the ball here next season. Or he'll be shooting here and he's passing. His all-round game looks up to a good standard, which is pleasing to see. I thought he was going to be a Dele Alli. I thought just because of the mental aspects. I've always believed in his talent. Just mentally, he looked gone last season. So the fact that he looks confident, he's sharp on the ball, he's playing a new role, and he seems to be adapting to it as best as you'd expect him to when you look at his skill set. And look, I'd rather he was getting chances than not getting them. So I think he's been one of the positives this season. Still, I won't gas it. I'd give him a 6.5 out of 10 for the season, like a lot of other players. But I think he can only get better from here. Let's be real. I don't see how he declines and has a bad season now. I think he's going to end up having a good season, to be honest.
Big up Smokey says Sancho needs to impact the game more and be a reflection of the right wing, whether it's by assist or taking more shots. That's how we judge wingers. In terms of you know what I mean, it's one of them, like with Rashford again. I feel like because now maybe we're not having as many chances, that's where I think frustration will come in, because you then need that chance where against Chelsea to make it count, and it's that's probably the feeling that a lot of people are kind of being aggrieved by. Big up to Zamia says Arsenal and United should go for Diego Costa. He's playing well and got attitude. Diego Costa, the one that
got a red card as well.
He's talking about the goalkeeper.
Oh, the goalkeeper. Yeah. Listen, that's for another story, man. I mean, right now, no more.
Or is he talking about Diego Costa?
Well, if he's talking about the Wolves striker, he got 90.
Yo, send another £5. Send another £5 and clarify which Costa.
Yeah, who is it? Yeah, I don't even know who it is, man. It Costa for Wolves or the other one. But in terms of look here, Sancho won't change the way he plays. Says that's another thing as well. Sancho won't change the way he plays, people. So
he's just not playing well. That's what I think people. I don't subscribe to this. He needs to dribble past 3 people and take people. I think those people want him to be something he isn't. In terms of his own style, he's just not playing well.
What about number
That's
10
what
role?
it comes down to.
What about number 10? Number 10 role. Could you do a number 10 role?
He could, but if he doesn't play well, it don't matter that he's playing as a 10. Like, you can move him there if you want. It don't bother me. I'm just like, it's not a guarantee he's going to play well. He can play left wing. He's just not playing well. And I don't like your excuse that he needs a striker. We can't do this. This player needs this and this player needs someone to hold his hand. We can't do this in 2022. We can't do this no more.
He said he meant the Wolves striker. Fair play, Zayn Miassi.
Okay.
He said the Wolves striker, but again, League said he got a red card today. Did he say? Yeah. So did they lose today again? Wolves.
One.
Yo, Zayn, 449. Zayn, you couldn't send a $5 or not?
Yeah, there you go, man.
Cost of living crisis, man.
Yeah, man, it's mad. But you know, in terms of the Rashford, situation, Statman, are you being impressed by him so far in terms of what he's giving, the output?
Listen, I thought last year that was it for Rashford. He was pathetic in terms of him walking around the pitch. So I wouldn't say soaking, but like he weren't there. We were basically playing with 10 men when Rashford was playing, but he's looked a lot more brighter this year, a lot more dynamic. I still want to see him on the left, I'll be honest. I still think that's his best position. And I want to see him and Luke Shaw back together on the left. Because I think Shaw battle here has been sensational. He's probably been our best player over the last couple of games.
Again, though, I just don't believe.
Listen, you can question Shaw all you want, mentality, but over the last couple of games, he's been our best player for me.
Yeah, he has. It's been quality.
Which is why, like, you have to give credit where it's due, kind of thing. And let's be honest. I'll be honest, I disagree. I still think Rashford is a bad finisher. Or not actually, let me take that back. Not a bad finisher, but I don't think he's clinical enough, kind of thing, innit? I still think he does miss chances. But I'll be honest, the chance that he missed against Chelsea the other day, I think people were a bit harsh on him, Kepa closed down the angle very, very well.
It was a bad first touch. If the first touch was better, you would have had better chance to elevate. But Kepa came out quick.
That's the first. For me, a striker knows to finish that first time and improvise.
No, he couldn't have finished that first time.
I think Roy Keane came out and said Ronaldo scores that. I think that's a difficult chance,
Ronaldo scored.
No, but I genuinely thought that was a difficult chance.
I think the Anthony miss was a bigger miss.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, 100%.
It was a massive miss.
Big up to Hakeem W. Says none of our forwards are clinical, but they are better goal scorers than we give them credit for. I trust them all. Wonder Twins, Rashford, Rashi, and Martial. Our forwards.
You can be a goal scorer though and not be clinical though.
That's true. Cavani's not the most clinical striker,
but he's a goal scorer.
Have any of our forwards got in them to score 10 plus this season?
Ronaldo.
Wait, 10 plus?
Ronaldo?
If Rashford don't get 10 plus, I'm fuming.
Yeah. Ronaldo ain't bagging nothing, man. People need to let that go.
No, but Ronaldo will get 10 plus. Rashford will get 10 plus if they play consistently.
Yeah,
I think even
10 plus goals. I'm talking about 10 plus Premier League goals.
Yeah, if they play consistently, both of them will get 10 plus. I think even, let's be honest, Martial's fit for the entire season. He gets 10 plus this year.
Do you know what? Already, anyway. I'm going to say this, Said, the way that front line is operating, this is why 10 goals is kind of a lot. The way they're playing and their final pass selection and their choice of shot, these men are going to struggle to get 10 goals. I'm not going to lie. They're going to struggle. They're not doing it in the final. We're not creating enough big chances. And if you notice as well, have you noticed all of our chances come centrally?
Yeah, I know.
Have you noticed they're not using the overlap? Don't get me started on the myth of Dalot and Anthony on the right wing. They don't pass to each other. They don't find each other. They don't overlap. You don't see underlap and Dalot receiving the ball from Anthony. The final third's a myth. Them man will struggle to get 10 goals. I think Rashford might get there, but Ronaldo.
Let me ask you a question though. In terms of
Ronaldo, even going to do that all season to get 10.
You'll be gone, man.
I'm going to give you an unpopular opinion. If Sancho has the chances that Rashford has, I think he scores more goals in terms of. I think Sancho is a better finisher than Rashford.
Composure in front of goal is better.
I've said this on Side TV. Jadon Sancho, I'm going to say this, is the best finisher and the best passer at Man United. I think I've said this one. Just in case I haven't, I'm going to tell he's the best finisher and best passer at this club. You just ain't seen it.
You think he's the best finisher?
Yeah. He don't miss one-on-one. He's clinical.
He don't miss one-on-ones. Yeah.
Don't miss. Composed. Don't miss.
You know the thing is though, he can't get in a position. I think he's
the
so
thing.
honest.
That's the thing. People say, like, for example, being back to Ronaldo one. Oh, so and so got that chance. If that was Ronaldo, he would have scored. So and so would have got that chance. If that's Ronaldo, he would have scored. But Ronaldo was on the pitch for 60, 70 minutes, and that chance never happened. Now, I'm not blaming Ronaldo per se, but the dynamics of one player don't automatically transfer over to another. So one player makes a run because he is that type of player and therefore gets that chance. It's like the Cavani thing. Cavani gets so many, he's not very clinical, but scores a lot of goals because of his movement. He gets a lot. So it's like, if that was Zlatan, he would have scored that. Yeah, but Zlatan would never have got that chance because he doesn't make that movement. So to say, X would have scored that chance is very, you can't fuse two players. So what you want is someone who's got, you want a Haaland. You got the movement and the finishing. You got the strength and the pace. But those kind of strikers are, so yeah, you just have to play, hard to find, but you just have to play to the strength. So if Rashford is good running off, then that's why he has to be off the left, because you're not going to get that opportunity to run in behind all the time through the middle. You get that more from the left. And you need to get a striker who can link the play to allow your wide players. If we can get a striker to link that play, whether that be Martial staying fit for the whole season or actually buying a striker, then I'm confident Rashford gets 10 goals. Anthony, I think Anthony can get 10 as well in the league.
We need to, man.
He's going to play it properly.
Yeah, because I feel like, I don't know with Chelsea. Chelsea's another one that I think they don't know where they're getting their source of goals from. Tottenham, Harry Kane, Son. I'm trying to look at Arsenal are doing well in terms of Gabriel Martinelli. Saka's getting the goals. Jesus, they like to kind of spread the goals around. Xhaka's got a couple of goals. Tottenham with Højbjerg and Bentancur, they've got a couple of goals. So we need to spread the goals around. It doesn't have to be that striker gets 20 plus goals. It has to be from all our forwards. So they need to step up. You know what I mean? In terms of this season, we've not scored many goals. That's the problem. How many goals have we scored this season?
I think it's 16. 16 goals, 16 conceded.
How many goals scored?
16.
16 goals.
16 and 11. That's like
Bournemouth have scored more.
1.15 or something like that.
Let me just look at that
per
right
game.
now.
That's not good. That is not good.
But saying that, we have played like the bigger sides.
We have.
That is true.
But you say that, yes, but then we scored 3 against Man City, 3 against Arsenal, and 2 against Spurs. So that means, obviously, we know the first 2 games, but they happen. So, if we're talking about 16 out of 11, we have to include it. Most of our goals in the 16 have come against the bigger sides. It's the smaller games.
But the thing is, even then, let's be honest. We didn't expect United to be the complete package anyway.
No,
the fact, we're always gonna have holes.
Fulham have scored more goals than us. Fulham.
I think
Wolves conceded more though.
Yeah, we've conceded the amount of still
we scored the least amount.
22 for them. So
we've scored. Oh, okay. So before today, I think we have always scored the least amount in the top 10. I think only Palace have less than us.
That's the change.
Leicester scored more. Yeah, Leicester got 21. I know they obviously conceded a lot.
How Leicester scored more? How?
I mean,
score goals, but you can't concede. What do you call it? Defend.
But the reality is, when you lose the first 2 games in the season in the manner that we have, and then you got Liverpool straight after, our focus after that was defense first.
Defense first,
at the back, and we can get a goal. So I get why we're in the position that we're in, but I guess the point is, we can't continue to be scoring on average 1.2 goals a game for the rest of the season, because I don't think you have to have a Mourinho type defense like Chelsea 05, 06 to score that many goals and end up being successful. I'm not saying win the league, but end up being successful. And even though we're in a position where we're not really expected to be in, we can still look at and say, what do we need to improve? And I think that's an area that we need to improve in. I just want to see goals. I need to see more goals.
Yeah, this is the thing. Like, and this is where I think, us being clinical and us expecting a lot from these strikers. This is where it is. This is where, the frustration might come in this top 4, race where other teams might be more clinical. But then we might have to win the 1-0s and the 2-1s. It might not be the best brand of football, but we're going to be compact at the back. You know what I mean? So, but in terms of West Ham, Statman, what are you thinking tomorrow in terms of what they're going to bring? I think, they're in decent form. They've got their players that they can bring on. be a good midfield battle. Strong. They're a decent outfit. They've just been kind of like they've had bad form this season. They've not really picked up.
I think they have picked up form over the last couple of games, and I think they got a victory against Fulham 2-3 weeks ago. I think Jared Bowen could potentially be out, though. I'm pretty sure he has ankle issues. I think Paqueta's out, so they do have the injury problems. And I'll be honest, defensively, I feel like they've been. I don't know, man. Like, I think the defensive record is quite good in terms of 12 goals conceded, but I think, when you watch West Ham, in terms of they've had a lot of injuries at the back, for example, they've sometimes literally played two fullbacks in the back three, for example, isn't it?
Yeah. So
I think that's going to be, hopefully we get a chance, kind of thing. But I'll be honest, man, I'm confident. I am very confident. I feel bad for saying that because you never know. United would just let you down, but this is 3 points, isn't it? But David Moyes, what is it at Old Trafford?
Yeah.
David Moyes coming back. He has a point to prove.
Yeah.
You never know, innit? But we're beating them.
You never know, but we're beating them.
No, we're beating them, kind of thing. It's as simple as that.
Smokey says, I want to see more goals from set pieces. Well, bloody hell, we have to keep them out against West Ham because, you know what I mean, they'll be physical and whatnot. But in terms of West Ham, last season, we just about scraped it. Cavani last minute winner. Obviously, we're a different output our team this time round. But in terms of the dynamic of the game, could West Ham cause us problems?
I think it'd be interesting to see first and foremost what centre back pairing he goes with. I think that's the first dilemma decision that Ten Hag has to make. I think if we go with Lindelof and Martinez, we will struggle. We'll struggle from set pieces, and we'll struggle just generally. They're going to hit long balls, and I'm not buying into necessarily foot this whatever, but we know like Lindelof is weak in the air, and he's 6 foot plus. He's weak in maybe just above 6 foot, but. And if you have Scamacca, if you bring on Antonio, that physicality, they're going to target the right, our right hand side defense, which would be Dalot and Lindelof. For that reason, I think he's going to go with Maguire, just for that aerial presence. So they can't just keep lumping it forward and hoping to get some joy. It means from set pieces, I was going to say attacking. Maguire don't score from set pieces, but at least you got height in the attacking box, and defensively you got him, Casemiro. I guess Ronaldo, if he plays, he's got some height in there. Rashford's not short per se, even though he's not dangerous in that aspect. But you need to have some height in the team.
I think Dalot's very good area, though.
Yeah, we showed that.
Yeah, well, you think in terms of defensively?
Yeah, like forget his goal. I just generally think in the air he's very good.
Okay, fair enough. But yes, I do think Maguire will play. And I think we'll be okay. Antonio could run at him at times. You might get a Ben Rama, trickery on the left-hand side, but I think he'll be okay. Going forward, it's the attack. I don't know what he's gonna go with in terms of the front three. Rashford has to start. Anthony has to start. It's just about where he plays and where. Well, obviously Anthony's gonna be on the right. But I think it's gonna be a close game. It could be 1-0 for a long time, and maybe we get a second. But if it ends like a 1-0, I wouldn't be very surprised. Fortunately, West Ham also played on Thursday, so you're hoping they've got maybe some tired legs. We did play on Thursday; it was an early kickoff, but I'm just hoping that we're gonna have enough to get, because this is our hardest. It should, on paper anyway, this should be our hardest game before the new year, before the FA Cup starts.
So basically,
we can get through this a 1-0, a 2-0. Then we're good, man. We just need to capitalize on these results some of the results that we've seen this weekend.
In terms of Danny, the approach from United, will it be a case of just kind of making sure that we don't make this game, I don't know, a physical game for you? Is it a case of that, not making it a physical game?
No, I was going to say, I'm surprised Neeks didn't. Oh, was that to me? My bad. Who's that? Yeah. I'm surprised Neeks didn't mention McTominay coming in for the height thing as well, to be honest with you.
He's banished him out of the team for some reason. What's going on?
Sorry?
Yeah, but that's because Casemiro's been playing well.
Yeah, but I think it wouldn't surprise me if we saw Casemiro, McTominay. I've got a sneaky feeling he's not going to start Garnacho or Sancho. I think we might see
Bruno out wide.
I just got a really, really funny feeling. I don't think we're going to see Rashford, Ronaldo. But I think, well, listen, we have to be physical in our way. So it can be a physical game, but on our terms, we're going to dominate the ball. When we lose the football, we need to win the ball back quickly and give our centre-backs less work to do. And if that happens, I don't care if it's Lindelof or Maguire, I'm more confident because they're not finding themselves in the most critical situations, more critical moments. But if we're not physical in that way, then they're going to have some defending to do. And I'm not confident if it's Maguire or Lindelof versus I don't want. If he goes 4-4-2, I'm more worried. If it's one or the other, I'm like, we can bully 2 versus 1, isolate them, etc. But if he decides to go 4-2-2, and you see Shamaka and Antonio, and I see Lindelof in the lineup, come on, I'm going to be nervous. But with the football, I'm confident. And I want to see. I want to see it click in the final third now. Like, it's been long enough. Like, Nick's calculated 1.2 goals a game. I need 3 goals tomorrow. I put a bet down on 3 goals as well, actually. So I need 3 goals.
I predicted a 3-1. We'll get our predictions
I've
soon.
gone for a 3-1 as well. That's what I see happening. I see a 3-1 happening. So,
you know what I said? There was a comment earlier from I think Smokey Settings or something like that, and he said about set pieces. I was glad that we scored the first goal of a set piece, even though it was late in the half against Sheriff. And I think set pieces cannot be underestimated, especially when you're playing against teams that are sitting back. You can get it's going to be hard to score in open play, so you can get a set piece, which is kind of just it's default settings where set piece, whether you're sitting back, whether you're attacking side, a set piece is a set piece. You have a certain amount of people attacking and defending in the box at any one point, and if you can get an early goal, 10-15 minutes,
yes,
set piece, the game changes, and then the way you want to play becomes that much easier. Then you can get the second and you can get the third, but it's just how long it takes to get that first goal is why we sit here like these strikers. Yeah, maybe a midfielder, maybe a defender needs to pop up with a goal. Like, goal defenders have jobs to attack and score, not just the fullback getting crosses. The centre back, upper teams. Van Dijk is dangerous in the air. Koulibaly scored from set pieces. John Stones very good in the air. Our centre backs don't score set pieces, and it's a problem. You can say maybe delivery at times. It's a problem. I think we get an early goal for a set piece, and the whole game just changes after that.
Let's get the team news. Let's get our team that we'll think will play tomorrow. Big up to everybody that's still locked in. Make sure, guys, you are still liking the video, people. Let's get the likes up. David De Gea in goal, obviously numero uno, my guy. Listen, I keep defending him.
Spain's number 6.
Well, listen, it is what it is, man.
I like it, but I'm just saying, innit? I like it.
David De Gea's doing well, man, so far. No complaints about playing out from the back or anything like that. Is you know what? He's probably be the most improved player at Man United, along with Dalot, maybe. I think David De Gea, in terms of distribution, you know what I mean, commanding, coming out from his box.
Look at this guy trying to gas it right now, man.
No, I'm not gassing it. I'm just letting you know, people, that all the things that people are saying that we wanted from David De Gea, he's doing it. And fair play to the manager. I think manager gets most praise because he's been working on it in training ground. He's identified the problems and they've worked on it. So fair play to the manager, but also fair play to David De Gea for adapting.
He's going to make a mistake tomorrow now. You said all of that.
Listen. People remember this stream anyway, man. It's calm. Anyway, David De Gea in net, obviously. Dalot, people. He's been playing every single game, man. Are you worried about that, or does it seem like this guy looks like he's got the energy to do it, man? Like,
Dalot and Bruno Fernandes are fucking machines. I have to say it.
Yeah,
those
they
two
are
machines. The amount of work those two get through overnight. I need to look at the numbers to see who's covering the most distance. Him and Bruno off the ball. The amount of work they do just to find space, to recover. It's weird. You should be worried, but they're not tiring. Them man, they're super fit. You have to say.
Yeah, it's crazy, man.
It's a problem because an injury can happen at any point.
I
know.
It's like he has,
but it's like he has no trust in anyone else to do that position. Even when Wan-Bissaka was fit early in the season, we played the Europa League game and Dalot starts, and the whole team was changed, but Dalot started. I was like, Wan-Bissaka.
I think you would move Lindelof to right back if they ever did that.
Probably.
Yeah. But again, I'm not sure, man. You know what I mean? Ethan Laird, man. Why do we get rid of him, people, man? Doing bits at QPR, but is what it is, isn't it? Let's go for centre-back pairing. I'm going for Lindelof and Martinez. I still think the manager doesn't really not really bothered about. Again, he is bothered about height, but there's certain games where I thought McTominay should have been playing for physicality, but he's not played him, and he's gone with what he believes in. But I'm going to go for Lindelof and Martinez. What are you guys going for?
I'm going Maguire. I think he does care about height. I think after the first 2 games, especially the Brentford one, I think McTominay didn't start both of the games, if I'm correct. Yeah. And it was very telling that, or maybe him and Fred started. I can't remember now. Yeah. But Fred was dropped and McTominay was kept. And I think there's this thing of, if you've got Martinez and you've got Eriksen and Fred, like, where is the height coming from? And I think only when Casemiro came in was McTominay dropped. I think the height is a factor, personally. And that's why I think he'll go with Maguire. And it was when Maguire came on at halftime against Sheriff, he went onto the right and Lindelof was moved to the left, which suggests that Maguire is the first choice, or the first choice backup to Varane, and Lindelof's gonna have to back up if the position becomes available. So that's why I think he'll go with Maguire.
What are you guys thinking, Statman? What are you thinking?
Man, I'm with you, man. Lindelof starts. I think he's been solid. Like, I have no issues with Victor Lindelof. I know people are worried. I'll be honest, I'm very calm with Lindelof tomorrow. I don't think he gets bullied at all.
Yep.
I think we take care of West Ham.
Yeah. I'm going, you know what I mean? Don't change anything that's not broken. What are you saying, Danny?
Lindelof has been in good form. He's been in good form. He seems to be curbing his... Listen, man, I think he's soft, man. But he's been aggressive. He's been aggressive and he's looked strong. So as long as he's playing well, and the coach has pretty much proven that if you're playing well, you stay in the team. So I agree with Leaks' logic, and I'd feel just a bit more, I don't know, safer if Maguire was in there, but I think he's going to pick Lindelof.
Yeah. And I think, honestly, Luke Shaw goes straight in there again, showing good form. So let's give Luke Shaw some credit there. So let's see. Well, last year again.
Saeed's hating, you know.
No, I don't hate Luke Shaw, but I'm tired of this guy playing because it's competition. I don't like the logic. You should play for yourself. Like, Dalot doesn't play because there's competition. He plays well. Like, I get there's no competition there. It has Wan-Bissaka, but he plays well. Like people play well. I just think with Luke Shaw, again, it's just I don't know. But it is what it is. I just feel like we're gonna have this conversation again soon.
This is the thing. People are like, oh yeah, you know, he looks like a new player. He's doing better under Ten Hag. I don't think this has anything to do with Ten Hag. I think this is all on Luke Shaw. Because we've seen this before.
We've seen it before.
It's just about.
I disagree. He put him on. Listen, man, his head looks smaller. He put him on an individual training program. Yeah. I saw Luke Shaw against Chelsea or Tottenham at the back post. Yeah, I saw him twist his body, win a difficult header, land, and in the same motion, go and sprint to the touchline to clear a ball.
Danny, when the World Cup is over or the new contract, are we going to get the same Luke Shaw after? I'm waiting for that. I'm happy with how he's playing. Well, that's the problem then, because there's nothing to do with Ten Hag then.
Contract
season. Look at it.
Tomorrow against West Ham.
Is that why the hair thing going on, Saeed?
Maybe.
The hair. So play well.
He looks like he's in the type of physical condition that he could potentially maintain.
Ready for the World Cup. He's ready for that World Cup.
If it's next pre-season, I'll be looking out for the pictures next pre-season to put the weight back on it.
I think we're all unanimous on Casemiro starting. Again, been outstanding, starting to show why we've got him. And listen, the class is always permanent. It took him a while to settle in. And that, for me, Ten Hag needs a bit of credit for not just bringing him into the team when every single fan wanted him in there. You know what I mean? It's one of them situations where Casemiro is showing his quality. So Casemiro,
since he started, he's been our best player, not Martinez.
Yeah. You're right. You're absolutely right. Absolutely.
I think he's got like 3 or 4 man the matches in a row or something like that.
Yeah.
Or sorry, three out of maybe the last 4 games or so. But you know, some people say, "Oh, why didn't he?" You know, this proves that he should have started him earlier. And I'm like, no, this proves that he was right to bring him in when he did. Like, we don't know what performances he would have got if he was starting from the beginning. There was a reason why he was bedding him in and getting him up to speed before he started sliding. And he's coming and just hit the ground running. Literally just hit the ground running. He's doing brilliant. Man.
And even in the Europa League, when he started initially, he weren't looking
He won.
Like he is now, kind of thing, isn't it?
He won.
Yeah.
He needed the minutes in his legs, get up to speed with the team and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Hakeem, big up to you. Goes 10-man playing for the contract. The game is the game. Well, there you go. It is what it is. Eriksen looked very, very good against Sheriff. I enjoyed him, but I think Chelsea game didn't have the impact. Should we manage him a bit more, or are you guys happy with what Eriksen's doing at the minute? I know, Danny, are going to say, well, Bruno does the same thing what Eriksen does and gives the ball away, but I think Eriksen has dropped up a little bit, but I think that's only because, you know what I mean? We're going to see the drop off.
The new signing Buzz is gone, man.
Yeah, the new signing.
Let's be honest, even at the start, people were overhyping Eriksen, man.
Not really overhyping him. The qualities were there, Statman. I don't know why you're trying to say overhype. People see the qualities. It was levels above our midfield.
Passes were there. The free passes were there for sure. Getting better.
Eriksen's done well, man. I don't know what Eriksen's done well. And the reality is,
he's been okay.
He's done well. He's played good this season. Like,
you know what is it? I think Eriksen's done all right, but you know when you go on Twitter and see how people are gassing Eriksen, that's when I'm like, I don't agree with it, kind of thing.
It's like I don't
how the field is.
No, but it's like when Van der Beek came on the other day, and everyone's like, "This is why he should have won the Ballon d'Or," so to speak. Like, it's like, come on, guys, relax.
Eriksen's another player who he's been 6.5 out of 10. He's not.
I would say,
I'd say 7.5.
And you know the thing is why I even give it.
Worse like the football than Paul Pogba was. Like people give him get away with murder. Like,
but you know why I even maybe give him a 0.5 is because, and this is less to do with him, but when he's not playing. There's nobody else in our squad who has done, or maybe I'm not gonna say can do, but at least has done what he's doing in that position, and that's the problem. So that's why he has to play all these games. You're like resting for the Europa League.
I think
he knows that if he plays someone else in that position, we're just not gonna get the same type of game.
What was our best performance this season?
It was fair. Horses for courses. But generally, but what was our worst game of the season? It was Fred in the midfield. Against Brentford, he was playing false 9. So it's like, what we say? Like, I don't know. I'm just saying, isn't it? Generally across the season, he's done something in the middle that nobody else is able to do in our squad at the moment. That's not on him. I'm not going to give him credit for it per se, but it shows his importance to the team. I would say more than anything.
We're going to put him in there because I think he will probably play because again, Ten Hag recognises the important. Let's put Anthony in here because I think these are just guarantees that they will play. Bruno Fernandes, guaranteed.
What do you think about the spin as well then?
Listen,
I want to do it again. I want to do it tomorrow.
I'll be honest.
You know what I think is, let me just explain something. I think the media are going to latch onto that even if you made that pass. And this is why I think people need to look at this very. The media and whoever's these pundits are gonna. They don't want that kind of football. They don't want that kind of style. And I feel like when Scholes said they need to kick out of him, it's a cultural thing.
Hold on, what's spinning got to do with football? What do you mean that kind of football? He's done this.
Well, there you go. That's what
he's done it earlier on in the season. Nobody said nothing.
Yeah, there you go.
Against Arsenal, did it against Arsenal, didn't he?
Yeah.
Did they say they didn't cook him? They cooked him. So I'm not having this. They cooked him because he did that stupid, corny, embarrassing. I don't care. It's the most corniest skill I've seen from a Brazilian player. It's corny. It's like
so you don't like it. You don't like it.
No, he's spinning in a circle. What the fuck is this?
I mean,
anyway,
let's
leave it here. Listen, if you like it, that's fine. It's corny to me. I think what Nani did against Arsenal, juggling the football, that's proper showboating. Spinning in a circle. You 5 years old. That's like that darts. You know that darts. You know that?
It's
that's
expression.
Like
that one.
I was about to pass out a dart, so I'm not going to do it, innit? So
I feel like for me, it's one of those situations where it's a case of if he made that pass, I still think the media. It's all about the media agenda of how footballers are. We don't want robots. We want to see expression. We want to see. This is entertainment. Football is entertainment, and he's entertaining the fans.
Does the media go after St. Maximin? Nope.
If he was at Man United, they would.
Exactly. There you go. You got it, man, Nix.
If you do skill and then it has a purpose. Yeah.
Oh, no, I get that. Okay, I get that.
They got onto him because the pass afterwards was embarrassing.
No, but Danny, they got onto him. Yes, they got onto him. That was the outward, the obvious reason for them to get onto him. But they got onto him because he's a Man United player who's doing it while Man United are playing well, and they've got nothing else to get on. That's what it really is. they've been going after Ten Hag before he even got the contract. People talking about Southgate should get the job over him. They were petitioning for Pochettino to get the job. No, but I'm saying it's so and every game that's gone by since the Brentford game, it's like, all right, we need something else. Then the Man City game came, it's like, there we go. And then they got nothing. So yes, they got on to the Arsenal work. No, but the point is, it was an easy target. It's not even newsworthy.
Exactly.
But they made it newsworthy. That's the point I'm making. Corny skill, you're right. Corny skill, pointless, but it's not newsworthy. But it's newsworthy because they need something to get out of Man United. That's what it is, really.
Yeah. Let's not dwell on it too much. Let's try and, because it's happened now, and I feel like for me, the media just too much attention. Right, last two positions. Rashford on the left, Ronaldo through the middle. Is that if you agree with that one? Yeah.
Listen, what can we do to keep Ronaldo out of the team?
Hey, Danny, you hate him, man. You're starting and he's scoring, man.
Wow.
What can we do to keep Ronaldo out of the team?
Well, Marshall needs to get fit.
How's not playing Ronaldo, man? He's not playing him.
I don't think Ronaldo Marshall played before the World Cup.
I got 10% on my phone. I don't think.
Again, you don't think?
I don't
Marshall
think
played before the World Cup.
Okay.
You don't like Ronaldo. You don't rate him. Ronaldo don't follow his instructions. Like,
that's true.
That game against Sharif, I was like, wow, he was between the two centre backs waiting for a cross. Couldn't you do that for most of the game? Instead of acting, he plays like a second striker. Get someone else.
Coming deeper a lot. Like Firmino.
That's why Ten Hag don't play him if he can avoid it, because Ronaldo's not listening to what it's like. You're not Martial. Martial can come deep because he's dynamic and can speed the play back up, etc. Rashford can speed. You can't speed nothing up. You come deep and he stands around, or he gets bypassed. It goes out wide. There's no one to cross to.
Can I just say something? I think the Newcastle game, there was Ronaldo. Ten Hag brought back two players, and one of them was Ronaldo, and he was having the longest conversation with Ronaldo. And I think he was just very, very a bit frustrated that he was coming very deep and he's not staying in the box. And I think that's one of the things that I think he has been kind of putting out Ronaldo. But I think Ronaldo just wants to get involved in the game. And again, it's a clash of ideas. And obviously Ronaldo has the ego to say, well, listen, I will score the goal, so just let me do my thing. So
listen, he's not playing tomorrow, man. Getting hyped. Remember, he is the Europa League player for us. That's why he was always going to play in the Europa League.
Sancho.
He's been completing 90-minute football matches in the Europa League for a minute. He's a Europa League player now, isn't it? So
the thing is, if Ronaldo was scoring goals, just as like a penalty box striker, he'd be more inclined to do the role that Ten Hag wants, just to stay in between the two defenders. He's searching. He's searching for goals. He's searching for form. He's probably even still searching for fitness. The man missed, at 37 years old, missed the whole preseason by 45 minutes against Real. You can't even do that as a 27-year-old.
Him ripped, so
yeah, don't worry about it, Instagram and all that, innit? But so you can't even do it as a 27-year-old, let alone a 37-year-old. And he knows the World Cup's on the horizon.
He's got the body of a 20-year-old. You don't need a preseason, man.
so he's searching for all of that.
I'm gonna get angry now. Listen, let's not make Statman angry, man. Too much Ronaldo slander.
Listen, man, we do our talking on the pitch, innit? We got more goals than Rashford in our last 6 games. We move.
Well, listen, I like Ronaldo. I would love Ronaldo to start. I love Ronaldo to score. If it's, I want Ronaldo to start if it works. And if Ten Hag thinks that we got a better option, Bruno going out wide and Rashford, whatever, I'm comfortable. I'm just comfortable with what Ten Hag's doing right now. So
I just want to see Rashford and Shaw on the left hand side, man. I just love that dynamic kind of thing when they're working.
You know what? I'm so comfortable that I know my manager don't rate this guy Ronaldo in it, so you man can put him in that team.
Man, we got our Ballon d'Ors, we got our Champions Leagues in it.
Wow. Listen, let's get our predictions. I'm going for 3-1. Leaks, give me your prediction and let us know in the chat as well. 3-1.
I'm going 2-0.
2-0. Statman, what are you saying?
I was going to go 2-0 as well.
2-0. Danny, what are you saying?
3-1. 3-1.
3-1. Yep, same as me. Let us know in the chat what you think of the result. Still over 500 people in the chat. Let's hit the like button before we wrap up. Let me see some of your predictions before we kind of wrap up. A couple of people are confident in the result. Sancho starts tomorrow. Listen, we'll see. We'll see, man. But listen,
that means Ronaldo's on the bench if Sancho starts.
No, I'd rather see Elanga starting than Sancho, you know.
Yeah.
If Elanga starts, Ronaldo's on the bench again. Listen.
No, but I'd rather that than Sancho starting kind of thing, isn't it?
Just Rashford, Ronaldo. It's not it, man. It's not
2-0 D
Never
Frizzy.
Sancho.
4-1 Marcus. Dominique. Big up to Dominique. She says 3-0. Yimka says CR7 out. Bloody hell. 3-0 says City.
Haters, man. Haters.
DL says 2-0. 1 United
I'm
says
keeping
King.
clean sheet. I don't know if we're going to keep a clean sheet tomorrow, you know.
No, I don't think so as well. I think we
We'll
can see
get caught out a set piece, man. I think we can see
Yeah.
it.
I don't think West Ham scored a lot of goals either, though.
No, they
Scored
don't.
11 goals.
11 games.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
That's worse than us.
Let's not do that tomorrow. But listen, people, we're gonna wrap it up here. Big up to League Sport. Make sure you go follow his channel, League Sport. Thanks for coming on, bro. Appreciate it, man.
thanks for having me. First time on there, but big
Yeah,
up
man.
you up, man. Big up.
Yeah, man. Hopefully more to come as well, man. Big up League Sport on his debut. Statman Baines, you get me. Make sure you go follow him on YouTube, on TikTok, everywhere. It seems every time I go on my phone now, I see Statman Baines everywhere. So big up to Statman Baines on the algorithms and that. Big up to you. What are you telling me?
I'm good. Now, I'll be honest, I barely uploaded. You know, I think I've done like one live stream over the last 12 to 13 days or something.
Yeah.
But listen, man.
Apologies, I was meant to go live with him yesterday, but I let him down. So
it's uni
You know,
times, isn't it?
you know, TikTok's got the green screen backgrounds for you, man. Just put the background in there.
I'll be honest, I don't know how kind of thing, innit? I'm too lazy to figure that out. But
It's in the app, man. You just push. I'm like,
yeah, literally, it's in the app.
It's
It's in the app. Yeah. But yeah, and also give it big up to Danny Devil Detail. The speakers king, the speakers corner, you know what I mean? The king of the speakers, man. What are you telling them?
I'm good, man. Like I say, catch me just slapping man around on spaces all day, every day.
There
But
you go.
I am being more consistent on YouTube though. So follow me
Yeah.
on Twitter. Find the link to the YouTube there. Got a bit more
Yeah,
time.
there you go.
Uploading there, innit?
There you go, people. But for now, people, I'll be back tomorrow, match day. So match day reaction outside the ground, match day vlog. And then obviously the Sunday show with Andy Tate, Flawless, and Double A. So we'll see you there. Busy day tomorrow. Hopefully we win today. Hopefully Liverpool lose as well later on. I'll get a draw. But listen, people, top 4 race is on. Peace. We're out.